seen that in car accidents.
Yeah.
Like the people on like an accident scene, people get out of the car.
Yeah.
And be like, I'm good. Boom, and just fucking
yes,
drop.
dude.
It's like
I was working at Penn a while back, and I saw a guy, like a dude, got out of the van and was totally fine, and then he dropped, and then like he got back up, and then he just dropped slowly again. He died. Like it was just me outside and like another guy outside. I'm like, I just seen him. He got up, he was talking but then after he got up in his shock, he slowly went back down. Like 15 minutes later, died.
Whoa.
Yeah, but I didn't
These are
kill
pretty
him.
nice. You guys try your drinks yet?
This is fantastic.
Yeah, it is. What is it?
Want to thank our friends at Top Dog Cocktails. Craft cocktails to get your tail wagging. I want to thank my buddies Justin, Matt, and Joanna. They were friends of mine from the beer business in the city, and they ventured off last year to start their own canned cocktail. 12.5%. More Paul, less cloth.
What's that mean, like fucked up wise? 12.5. That's pretty.
2 is a nice pregame.
Okay.
Like they are two craft beers, 2 pints of craft beer, I would say, in one of these. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, totally.
So, wow.
12.5 strong.
Taste. Yeah, that's what I'm trying. Yeah.
But this is good. We all have different flavors we're trying. This is a Greyhound. It's vodka, grapefruit, rosemary, and elderflower. I don't know what rosemary and elderflower is supposed to taste like, but
Greyhound's also a dog.
sure is. Yeah, there's made real dog day.
Yeah.
So I think they sell these at state stores, so look out for Top Dog Cocktails. We got a very special Hoagie time.
Yeah, who is
this
it?
Week.
Who is it?
It's Power
Delco's
Realtor.
own. Delco's Power Realtor.
Power Realtor, community man.
Yeah.
Decorated quarterback, Mr. John Port, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Shay, do we have the applause yet?
We definitely do have the applause.
John Port, ladies and gentlemen.
I showed up.
Yeah, we just got
Sleeping
that one,
over
man.
there.
How are you, brother?
I'm good.
How's
man.
everything?
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah,
This is like
yeah.
the biggest.
Excited to have
This is
you.
the biggest honor of 2023 for me. So far.
When we first started talking about guests, you were top of the list. We knew we needed to get you in, and it's good timing, right? Because we got a big month coming up. March has always been a big month for you. I mean, we'll get to all that, but you got a big party coming up. But
Delco Prom coming up.
so if someone's listening outside of Delaware County, who's John Port? Where do you where are you from?
Grew up in Fallcroft.
Fuck yeah,
That checks
St.
out.
Gabe's guy.
Ooh.
Went to Bonner.
Ooh.
Did a stint at Albright College.
Of course, everyone knows that.
And then thought I was going to play in the NFL and instead started selling real estate.
Didn't we all?
It's a typical Delco dream.
Now, you really, like, legit, there was NFL teams interested. How did that go? Like, did that start in your senior year at Albright?
It started around my junior year.
Junior year. And how's that whole thing? I mean, you're coming from a D2 school.
D3.
D3.
So, I mean, look, right place, right time. You know,
Yeah.
I was in a perfect opportunity there. Great, like, coaching staff and just what they built an offense around me. So it worked out really well. And junior year, there started being some rumblings. Like, I had the size, I had the stats.
Yeah.
And things started coming
Arm
together.
strength, all that.
Senior year, it was, consistent. Like, after my senior year, they were there.
Yeah.
Teams were coming up. And then had the chance to do some cool stuff. I mean, look, the Eagles brought me in and I got to do a workout at the NovaCare complex, like in front of their staff.
Really?
Incredible.
Which was, from a guy who barely played. Like, I didn't start until my senior year in high school.
Which was it was wild. Poor coaching. I mean, we ran in high school like an archaic offense that we're sitting on a pro level quarterback, and just that style didn't fit you. I mean, you were a passer, like you're a spread quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, and look, I didn't know back then. And I was also, in every one of those coaches' defense, I was a year younger than I should have been. So I was
really. So you
I started
actually
school
should
at
have been
4 years old. Like, I was a 4-year-old kindergarten kid and didn't turn 5 until December.
So you graduated in 01 from Bonner. You should have graduated in 02.
Should have graduated in 02, could have graduated in 03, and but should have definitely been in 02.
So you were a late bloomer. You were blooming. You're really coming into your own in college.
Yeah, I was probably 6'4", 180 my senior year. My freshman year of college.
And I remember you weren't 6 foot, like sophomore year, you might have been 6 foot. Like you were kind of, you sprouted a bit by the time you were a junior.
I was 5'8" as a freshman and 6'3" as a sophomore.
So you probably had the hammer of a man in like 5th or 6th grade. That came out wrong. So were you guys on the same team?
I would say
is what I meant.
I would say that didn't show up until sophomore year.
That came out wrong. Were you guys on the same squad?
We were. I am a year older.
Came out wrong.
I am a year older than John at Bonner, but our team, my senior year, was like legendarily awful. Like we were so bad. We didn't win a game. We won like a preseason game 7-6, but It was just poor coach. By the time we had good coaches, like, and I'm sure John will attest to that. Like our position coaches, like cared about us and all. Eddie Harrington was a great guy. Like you can name a few, but they were kind of at the end of their run. They'd won the Catholic League in '95, and they were kind of living off that. So it was like it was their time to go. They're getting older, but
starting to change.
Yeah,
and the game was starting to change too.
The game was starting to change. So we're running the option offense, which is like if you go back to high schools, teams that don't throw the ball just kind of run that like the T-bone kind of like hand off to the fullback maybe. But at the time, you're right, the game started to change, and we're sitting on a talent like John, but the coaches didn't pick up on that yet.
We were predicated on run and quarterback run, and I was not the quarterback that was going to run the ball.
So when you how was there any film on you? Like you're, but
we had enough. I mean,
by the time your senior year, you won. Yeah,
we were good our senior year. We had some players on that team, and I got recruited by a lot of places. Like I would say 7 or 8 of the PSAC schools were talking to me very seriously and made offers. But I was I was young. I didn't know where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
I didn't decide to go to Albright until it was June. I came back from senior week and made the decision to go to Albright.
Where'd you go senior week?
Bahamas.
Oh, nice.
What?
Yeah.
That's
very upscale.
That's amazing. I haven't heard that.
Like some
before.
people do Cancun.
We did Cancun.
I also did Wildwood, but I did Bahamas.
My thing was to get a house the whole summer in Wildwood. Like, that was some people would do Cancun. I did the whole summer from Memorial Day to Labor Day.
I
Quote Fun Times at the Jersey Shore. When I hear, this is Mike's lyrics, when I hear talk of Mexico, I think, hell no. Why don't you go to see all?
Jumping all the while.
It's all good now. Why broaden your horizons? Why leave the country? Just go where you've been going your whole life.
Few regrets in my life.
Yes.
And one of them is not doing the summer shore house. Like I did the weekends and the week here or there, but I never did
I wouldn't change it, man. There's a lot I would change. Level. I wouldn't change that part. Yeah. But yeah, so you go to Albright from, straight. So, I mean, I'm sure the streets of Fallcroft are still calling. You didn't know if you really wanted to. You probably wanted to go to Westchester.
I wanted to stay home.
Want to stay home?
Yeah, I did. I was scared to leave.
Yeah.
And then, look, it ended up being the perfect decision for me. I got there. It was the right fit. There was a coach there, and, I knew about the school from a family friend growing up that I went up and watched play. He ended up passing away when we were really young, but I went up and watched his cousin play when we were kids.
Right.
And so I knew about the school from that. And then the one coach there just wouldn't stop, and he was communicating through that kid's cousin.
Yeah.
Through Anthony Serino is his name. So he was communicating through his cousin.
Okay.
Still
Anthony,
saying,
he's a Fallcroft kid as well. He played with you as a kid at Fallcroft Youth.
And then he was killed in a car accident actually on McDade Boulevard on McDade and Clifton.
Yeah.
In 98.
And he was your age or younger than you?
He was a year younger than me.
You're younger.
His sister was my grade, 98.
Yep.
Oh, dude, I remember that day. Yeah. I forget her name.
Amy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She dated one of my friends. Oh, man, the corner of McDade and Clifton.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Rest in peace.
So it was through a connection with him and his family.
When we were kids, we went and watched him. Matter of fact, when I was a kid, I went to a game with him at Albright. I was probably 11, 12 years old, and we watched their quarterback break like a school record and for passing yards.
Yeah.
And I went there and broke that record. Wow.
Fitting, man.
It was cool to come alive
and
be there. But there was something drawing me there, and whatever it was, when I ended up there, it was just a perfect situation.
Yeah. And Albright is in what town? I know it's Central PA.
Reading.
Reading. Okay.
Shout out Tom Fitty. Tom Fitty had a storied career there too.
Yeah, he did.
Fitty was like my he was my spirit guide there. When
Yeah.
I ran into Fitty a couple weeks ago.
Such an intense football player.
I ran into him
really
a while
good player, man.
He was.
And we hadn't seen each other in a while. And as we're saying goodbye, I was just in one of those moods. I go, ladies and gentlemen. He goes, shut up, Hef. I go, ladies and gentlemen, Albright football's own Tom Fitty, as I just headed out.
Yeah,
Fitty's
man, I'm the
famous for
shit.
the like he likes driving down the street. If he sees you on this side of he'll beep, but he waves over here. It's his favorite.
He's a
cute
wave
little
over there guy?
He waves to the opposite
Yeah,
side.
through, like, the passenger
You're right
side?
there, and you're like, hey, Fit. He waves this way, and he thinks it's the funniest thing in the
That's
world.
a serial killer move.
Yeah.
Good goddamn Fit. Yeah, so they after you graduate, is it the next year the Eagles give you a shot or
So right out of that year, so I as I graduated, arena football was really big back then.
right.
So everybody kind of thought, like anybody that I talked to as far as an agent went, they all thought like, hey, if it doesn't work out there, you're going to end up in the Arena League. So I started doing that circuit the week after I finished playing. Matter of fact, Tommy McHugh brought me up to his school. There was a team hosting a workout there that invited me up. And
Yeah.
I stayed with Tommy his last
That had to be a
Tommy's
hell of a
last
weekend.
game.
Knowing Tommy.
I got to stay with him, and he was like rolled out the red carpet for me, and I went and did a workout there. And I would say that year going into the draft is when the Eagles brought me in and did it. And it helped me a lot because I ended up getting I think there was 12 teams. The Eagles, everybody was following the Eagles back then.
Yeah.
So whatever the Eagles did, the league copycatted it.
Right. Okay. This was like the beginning of Jeffrey Lurie kind of, and like, is Howie there then?
Howie was not there, but
It's right before Howie.
This is in their run with McNabb.
Sure.
When he's a stud. And what happened was so you have to register your name when you do an NFL workout. So the teams register you with the league for the workout. So once that went there, other teams started asking questions that were already kind of on the fence. And there was, it was weird, or not, I shouldn't say we're surreal, that one, I got to do it there. And then two, you had the phone calls on draft day and that kind of thing. It just didn't happen. It was just kept continuing for
how many years?
Time.
Yeah, like
way too long.
Yeah. So is it a 2-3 year process that you're kind of keep trying, and then when do you say, all right, that's not the future?
So fuck Kurt Warner. Like when you hear,
the greatest show on turf
when you're 26 years old and then he pulled it, I had this issue with the fact that I would go places and the scout there would be like, dude, we love you.
Yeah.
And then it just wouldn't shake. So I ended up closing the book when my wife got pregnant with our first kid. So she's 11 now. So it was 11 years ago. So I was 26, 27 years old. When that happened, I had like a meltdown. Like I didn't know what to, I still wasn't closing the book of football. 2 weeks before I got offered to go play arena football in like Chicago, I was thinking about leaving real estate and going to do that.
Yeah.
And I went and I basically went and got in touch with my agent that I was dealing with previously. And I said, look, I need one workout to close the books.
Yeah.
Like
you had to
I'm
put
done.
closure to it.
I just got to end this.
Yes.
So the day my daughters went, they were supposed to do this workout multiple times. Zach Mills from Penn State, he actually worked me out for this team. He was playing for them. It was Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He was playing for them. He ended up leaving and started becoming like a scout coach kind of thing. He does a workout with me up at Radnor High School. We're supposed to do 3 workouts. First workout, he goes, dude, we're done. We're going to stop right now. I'm calling them and telling them they should sign you.
Yeah.
So, all right, here we go. So their GM calls and says, we're going to come do a workout in November. All right, cool, November. Train for it, nothing. December, nothing. My daughter's born in May. At this point, I've given up on it.
Yeah.
And I'm in the waiting room, or not in the waiting room, in the delivery room. She literally is just came
born
out. And I get a phone call from a Bryn Mawr number. We were at Bryn Mawr Hospital.
Yeah.
So I answered the phone, and it was my agent. And he goes, hey, are you busy? I was like, no.
The definition.
No. I'm like, I am not busy. What's up? And he was like, they want to work out tomorrow. So I needed to get a receiver, all this stuff. Well, this was when the NFL was on strike. So
Okay.
you remember
I
a
was
couple years
I was
back.
away. You called me for that.
So I called you.
Yeah,
you were
away.
unavailable.
I was in Nashville.
Parks was unavailable. So believe it or not,
She got Warrington.
I did go Collingdale. I called Scott Shepard.
Okay.
So Scott
good
played with
hands.
me.
Big shout out, Scott
played
Shepard.
with me 4 years in Bonner, 4 years Albright.
Yeah, so he's familiar.
I was like, all right, well, what better guy, right? So he goes, dude, I'm out of shape. I'm like, they don't care. They just need somebody to run routes. Well, rumor got out that the GM of a CFL team was coming down. Villanova had just won the national championship that year. They bring their quarterback, all their defensive backs, a receiver. Like they have 10 guys show up to this workout.
They
in
big
shape,
time
ready to go.
In shape.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Scotty
big
Shepard
time
rolls up.
And Scott coming from bar leagues, like he's 28 years old.
Oh my God.
And they so this dude, I meet this dude. He goes, I go, where are you from? He goes, I played ball at Vanderbilt. I just got cut from the
SEC.
Titans. D-back, corner.
Yeah.
And they go, all right, we're going to do one-on-ones. And now Shep's running routes.
Oh, against an
this
SEC
dude.
D-back?
And this guy's trying to make a team. Scott's just trying to help his buddy out. Like, they're jamming in his throat.
And I can guarantee Scott
Tackle him.
Shepard was at like McGillicuddy's Tinicum the night
Oh, my
before.
God, without question.
Yeah.
He kept looking at me going, you fucking owe me, man. You owe me. So I thank God that he was there for that work because, you think when you're 26 years old and still chasing that dream, people think you're crazy. We do the workout. There was 3 quarterbacks there. And after the workout, they come up to me and they're like, hey, we heard you had a baby yesterday. I was like, yeah. They go, well, we're going to sign you to a contract. Will you move to Canada? And I was like, yep.
Yeah.
I should have checked with my wife on that.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, yeah, I'm in. And we were at Widener University. We walked back to my car, that long ass walk down at Leslie Quick Stadium at Widener.
Yes.
I walked back to my car, got to my car. They called again. They said, get your passport. We'll be in touch with contract information, all this. So, like, all I wanted was them to say no. I just wanted them to say, hey, you're not good
Exactly,
enough.
so it could close the book.
Just move all of my
Great try.
life.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, hey, you suck.
But
Go
that
get a job.
receiver you brought in really had something special. He wasn't on our
We're
radar.
gonna sign
but we
your
really like
buddy.
this kid.
So, whatever. They end up going through all this. And the way it ended, which is kind of like such a lackluster ending, is they told me 3 different times that day, like, we're signing you. It's a done deal. And then we just never heard from them again.
Just like that, huh? There was nothing. So
rumor that I
that's
got-
how I would do it if I was them, though. In all fairness,
it was a
it's
gangster
not right.
move.
Yeah.
It's not right.
So all you wanted was closure, and they gave you the exact opposite of closure. So wow. So after that, do you dilly dally in regular jobs before? I mean, everybody in Delaware County and further out know what you do now, and you really built something extremely successful with real estate. But what do you do before that? What's the bridge from football to real estate?
So it was always real estate. I did real estate immediately out of college.
Immediately, okay.
As a part-time gig. Like I shouldn't say part-time. I was full-time, but I thought it was just going to transition to football. And I did. I played arena football while I was doing that. But at the end of the day, it just wasn't shaking. Like I had to stick to the real estate. So I stuck to that. Obviously having a kid, everything else, like that's what the focus was.
Right.
And then I just, I went back to it. And it was it. I never left. I was never gone for a day. It was Saturday.
I remember you telling me a story before, though, about there was kind of one day when you weren't working with your cousin Mike Mulholland team, and then you kind of said something to him, like, and he said to you, like, I've been waiting, I've been waiting for you to ask.
So he got me a job at the detention center, and the job
you've been there.
So
he lived there.
It was at
not the jail
juvenile
you've been
one.
to.
Yes.
It was
The
at
detention
juvenile
center.
one.
Yes, the detention
So
center.
we,
I've been to George W. Hill.
I was working part-time at my mom's nursing home. She runs a nursing home. So I was working part-time there and just doing like odds and ends stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I needed a real job and doing the football thing, traveling around the country, which was great, but I needed something to actually pay for.
It was winding
some of
down,
that,
yeah.
You know?
We know all about needing a real job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
But he was in his 20s then.
I was a little bit younger than you guys, a tiny bit younger. So we Mike, I called Mike. I'm like, dude, I need a real job. Like, but I want to do football. So, can you help me out? And he knew everybody. He was selling real estate at the time. He goes, listen, I can get you into the detention center. Now, I thought I was going to be a cop or something of that nature.
Right.
So I was like, perfect. While I'm doing this, I can do that. So I get in the detention center. Somebody's giving me a tour. I wish I could meet this guy today because he changed my life and he has no idea. He's walking me around. He goes, dude, I can't believe you got a job here. It's really hard to get in. Who do you know?
Yeah.
And I didn't sign the paperwork yet. I was just on the tour about getting the job. And I go, oh, my cousin, Mike Mulholland, used to work here. And he goes, yeah, he left here. He's killing it doing real estate. And I remember I couldn't hear a word he said after that. I'm thinking to myself.
So it's something like it clicked right there, like a light bulb went off. That was the moment.
Wait, what am I doing?
Yeah.
So I left. I went out there. I called. He goes, how'd the interview go? I said, I got the job if I want it. But let me ask you a question. Why don't I just work with you? And he was, to your point earlier, he said, well, I was hoping you'd ask. And, we started. So that was in 2000, end of 2006, beginning of 2007.
Whoa.
And I've been with him.
That long,
Him and I've been partners. Well, we weren't partners then. I was his bitch for a few years. But, we've been partners ever since.
So that's almost 20 years now.
Yeah.
And you guys have the Mike Mulholland team.
Yep.
You guys are coming out with the funny videos and whatnot.
Yeah.
So high visibility on that. And you've also branched out into the Delco Group.
Yes.
I have a Delco Group shirt. I'm tugging on.
I'm sure 80% of our listeners have some type of Delco Group shirt or something. You guys really did well with that. Getting your marketing is incredible.
Incredible. And even before that, I don't want to say the word piggyback. It's not a negative thing, but you found you saw an opportunity when we did Thug Folks 10-year reunion, and you approached us and said, hey, can we get some shirts made for that night? We were thinking about getting shirts made anyway, had our logo on the front.
Yeah.
And on the back it said, John Porter's my realtor.
Still got that shirt.
Yes.
You paid for them, and everybody was happy. So you've always been really good-minded with your marketing.
Forward vision with that kind of stuff. You really kind of saw the big picture, but you got those shirts made, and I always say, when I watch those videos of the Mulholland team and the stuff, you could have went into acting. Do you have any acting experience? Did you dude?
Zero.
Because when the lights turn on, so those videos, you're clearly I love Mike, love you, Aunt, love you. You're a star. You could have went into that. Actually, you could have went into TV. I mean, you have the face for it. You're 6'4", but
I'm prepared to make love to my buddy on camera right now.
that's
that.
what I'm trying to do.
It's been a dream of mine.
But is you have no background in any kind of that stuff?
No.
Because it's not easy to do. Because even doing podcasts, even doing music like Mike, the Hef and I, when the lights come on, it's different. So you can get something totally right, but the boom, and it seems like that was second nature for you.
Yeah, I mean, look, that was just basically somebody said, hey, you should be doing video for your business. And I started doing it and stopped. I wish I would have listened to them back then. But when we dove in and said, hey, we're going to do this, it's funny. The original plan was more instructional video, which is we're now bringing back into the fold. but for like the selling Delco part of things, like the whole point of the video was to get attention. And what we noticed was we would do like serious video, and then we would do something funny related to Delaware County.
Yeah.
And everywhere we would go, yo, dude, I saw the speech video. I saw this video. And we were like, man, we got to kind of roll with what we are.
Yes.
So that was it. Like, that just became easy because then it was like,
yeah,
we have a great crew that we shoot that with. And they're like, dude, just be yourself. Like,
yeah. And it was
don't
very,
do anything but be yourself. And it just worked.
Yeah, it was very clear. Like you picked the real stuff, like realtor. I remember that video where in some of the words that in Delaware County we say, and it's true. Like realtor is just how it's said. Like you find you guys are very good at finding like the things we all know as Delaware County residents, Philadelphia residents, and kind of making that like the crux of the video, and like having fun with that kind of stuff.
That's it. I mean, this all started around the same time as the football thing ended. So Mike, credit to him, like gave me a little tough love speech right around that time because when I knew football was done, baby on the way, like I started kind of thinking like, all right, well, what do I want to do? Like, do I want to do real estate forever? And the market wasn't great at the time. We were always pretty busy, and I was thinking I remember going to his house and saying, look, man, I think I'm going to leave the business.
This is about what year? Like
this is 2010.
Okay.
Were we like recovering from the crash at that point? Was that 2007?
So we felt the crash here in 2010. Everybody says 2007, 2008. We felt the crash here in 2010. That's a long story, but the shortest version of it is they implemented a tax credit to boost the market. And in Delaware County, that hit hard. Like that worked really well in Delaware County. So we were busy as hell in late 2009, early 2010. And then when that tax credit ended, we went off a wall. We just fell off a cliff because no one was making moves. Like no one wanted to do anything. They wanted to see if another credit would come out because people were getting free money to go buy a house. You're getting $8,000 cash to go buy a house from the government. So why wouldn't you do it? When they took that away, everybody waited. We were dead. And I remember going to Mike and saying, like, look, man, I think I'm going to leave. Like, I think I'm out of the business. And he flipped. Like, it was tough love.
Yeah.
And he goes, dude, you haven't tried one bit. Like, you're good at what you do and you work hard every day, but you don't market. You don't tell anybody you're in real estate. You're like this secret. You're too cool to be.
So this was the talk that
and he ripped me. He goes, so I'll never forget. And I wouldn't admit this in a lot of places. Well, now I guess I'm admitting it.
Hoagie time, we get right to the heart.
This is Bonner Collingdale Falkoff too.
I was struggling to pay my mortgage at the time, and he goes, I'm writing you a check, pay your next 2 mortgage payments. He goes, here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Like, actually fucking commit.
Yeah, do these
like,
things.
Commit to this for the next 60 days. And if it sucks in 60 days, you can quit. I'll let you quit. But give me 60 days where you put the kind of effort you put into everything else into this.
Yeah.
And I did. And that's when I went out that week and I bought 150 just Delco t-shirts. It just said Delco established 1789. No one had ever used established 1789 on anything Delco ever before.
Yeah, that was
And we did it. And it was like, I was like, Mike goes, what are you going to do with these? I said, I'm putting my name on the back and I'm going to give them out for free. And it was, they were gone in 30 minutes. Like, people were coming from like Jersey to get the t-shirts. And I was like, dude, we're on to something. So like when you guys did the Thug Folk thing, at that point it was always like, hey, we're going to buy t-shirts. We're going to put our name on the back.
Yeah.
And we did, and we probably have 100 variations of Delco t-shirts that we
absolutely. Yeah. You guys really,
and it was just brand. Like at that point I said, hey, we're going to start branding who we are. Like, and that's it. And it's easy to do that because you're not fake. Like, you don't be fake when you're.
At any point, was there a conversation about like doing it like kind of gearing it towards just Delco might hurt another because you saw like, is that a conscious decision you made to kind of concentrate on Delco and kind of concentrate your business there?
At that time, I was 26, 27 years old. So there's a lot of people in the real estate industry that were older, wiser, whatever you want to call them. That had been in the
shout out Uncle Reds.
Shout out Uncle Reds. Coming fast, bro.
And I remember a few people had come when I started really pushing it. People had started coming to me and saying, "Hey, you guys are making a huge mistake. Like you're cutting yourselves short
by doing the Delco."
Yeah, like you don't want a brand being from here, and that some people. I was like, dude, this is who we are. Like, you guys are young. You could take over the main line. Like, I don't need to take over the main line.
Right.
Like, I just want to be the guys that take over here. Like, this is where we operate every day. Why are we trying to do something that we're not? So we leaned into it, and we went all. We selling Delco. Like, our website's selling Delco. Here's the thing: we sell a ton of houses in Chester County.
That's what
we do business in Philly.
Exactly.
We do business in Montgomery County. like, but we want to be the guys that when you think about Delco real estate, you think about us. And we've, knock on wood, I think we've done
absolutely. And it seems like the marketing was done so well that it didn't matter. Like, you know, you own Delco, and then, like you said, you still sell the main line. You still sell in Chester County. Like,
I'm a big fan of, like, if you have aspirations to, like, take over a market. Like, I think young bands, like, make the mistake of, we want to be like Phillies. No, like, my thing is take over your area first. Like, own your area.
Win in your backyard, right? Like,
right. Then branch out. Yeah. And I think when you started that kind of started the whole trend, maybe, or at least was part of the things that started to, like, now I was in Lawrence Park Shopping Center today, and they have Delco Trading Company. And it's a store that just sells shit with Delco on it. I mean, like Delco flags, Delco shirts, Delco whatever. Around that time when you were doing the selling Delco, I know we came out with Bird Text. I was part of this with the Real House Husbands of Philadelphia. Yep. I think that was like a couple years later or whatever, but like that's around that time that things started to pick up. Maybe it was 2009.
There's definitely a few companies that were like all in, and you know, like people bring that up. I'm like, dude, I didn't coin Delco. Like that's been
but you did kind of coin the whole, making it kind of cool and something to be proud of.
We just thought, like, all right, hey, if you know the people that are really from here, that are doing well for themselves, that are hustling, like they're proud to be from here. So let's lean into that and put some pride behind it. And then there was a couple other companies doing similar things at the same time, like 2SP. I don't know what year they started on, but they were big on it as well. And like you see a couple of those companies that were like leaning into it.
Yeah.
And you know, look, now it you see everybody's into it now.
Yeah.
But we love the fact that like it's been our thing from day one. And you know, we can go back. We show the videos and the clips and the t-shirts and all that from back then.
Right. You hit on that. That's very interesting, and I agree. Like Delco, it was more like of a negative kind of thing. Like, oh, like it used to like that. And then when you guys kind of your marketing ploy brought out like the positive end, like, yeah, I am from Delco. That is how we do it in there. It was kind of like a shift in it. I noticed. That's
our thing has always been. And that's, so when I had that conversation, I'll never forget where I was in an office and a realtor came up to me and said, hey, I'm just giving you advice. You're making a huge mistake by doing this. And our words to that agent was, this is
go fuck yourself.
Like, it's a badge of honor to be where we're from. Like, we're still, you know, you couldn't find two prouder Fallcroft guys. Like, me and Mike brag that we're from Fallcroft. I love where I grew up. You know, I love everything about it. And when you go like somewhere else, and when I went away for school and then came back, you know, you do the same thing. Like, you realize that, you know, it's not just your town. Like, it's the whole thing. Like Bonner, like it's a Delco thing.
It's a Delco thing. Like,
to me, like, man, it's who I am.
Right. And I met like college. We were Bonner, but we linked up with guys from Chichester, which we would never would have. And then they became our best crew of friends just because we all hung out together and we were like-minded. That's on the other side of Delco, but it was kind of, it was cool. And we just, you know, shared the same kind of things, drinking and,
so what's also sick is
chicken.
Like, yes. What's also sick is not just using Delco as kind of like a way to grow your business, but you guys have also used the success of that tagline and your business itself to roll that into the Delco Group, which is super sick. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So that's my thing. I mean, like that's probably my passion now at this point. You know, so 2018, we get approached by Dan Emerson. Great dude. And he goes, hey, I think it might have been 2017, but it doesn't matter. He goes, hey, I'm running this toy drive and I'd like you to help.
Yes.
And we were really involved in the community, always doing stuff, donating money. Wherever we could get in, we would get in. But Dan gave me this compliment and he was trying to give me a compliment. I took it as like the biggest dig of all time. And
also a Delco quality.
Delco.
Yes. Right? Yeah, it's a
very Delco quality. Yeah.
Delco quality. Yes. So he asked Frank Cornetti, who works Piazza Honda.
Shout out Frank Cornetti.
And myself to get behind this toy drive that he was running for a coworker of his. Her daughter was facing terminal brain cancer, and she wanted to have this toy drive, and they wanted to kind of make this thing special.
Sassy Massey.
Yep. And we got behind that. And at some point throughout the conversations there, I said to Dan, I just said, hey, just out of curiosity, why was it so important to get, you know, Frank and myself involved? Like, and he goes, well, if you two get behind something in Delaware County, everybody else will. And he was saying that as a compliment. And I don't think I worked the rest of that day. I was like, you piece of shit. Like,
yeah, it was like a fire brewing in you.
How did you take that the wrong way? What were you thinking about that?
In my head, I was just like,
from Fallcroft. They're fucking hot over everything.
To me, that seems like a straight up. I don't see the other side.
So
of
also, when you walk up, you think everyone's making fun of you.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, what? Like,
you say?
I said you're.
I said you're a really nice guy, and we'd love your help. What you say, motherfucker?
I think it's like honestly like a Bonner thing too. Like us guys coming from this side of Baltimore Pike, the south side.
No doubt.
Yeah, like we automatically think you're making fun of me because I take the trolley or I'm poor.
You got a chip on your shoulder
Exactly.
the second you walk into a building. Yeah. And look, so when he said that, I knew he was saying it as a compliment. But in my head, all I could think was like, dude, you're using any energy you have and any clout you have just for yourself. Like just to try to promote your business.
Okay.
And we would do other things. We did run fundraisers and we raised a lot of money for people, but it was once a year. Like it was short lived. And I'm like, man, like somebody else sees this and you don't. So that year I wrote down on a piece of paper, literally that New Year's me and Mike were with his wife, my wife, we were on New Year's, and she said, hey, we should all write something down that we want to do next year. And I wrote down, I'm going to start something that's bigger than just me. That was it. And November that year, or October, Dan calls me and goes, hey, are you in for the toy drive again? And I went, shit, I wrote that thing down last year. I didn't do anything about it. So, I immediately got started on it. Like I called him, I'm like, hey, I'll help you. We're in, but I need to know how to start a charity. And he was like, well, we're doing this. So I ended up getting hooked up with Paul Struss, Paul the kicking coach.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Shout out Paul Struss.
He set
Kick
me
far,
up.
Paul.
Yeah.
And he got him and a buddy of his got us approved. And then I called, at the time it was 10 other guys. So Mike was one of them. And I called Frank,
Frank,
Frank's the most optimistic guy in the universe.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm like, Frank, I want to do something. He's, I'm in. I'm like, do you want to hear what it is? He was in. And then
let me consult with my comb real quick. Yeah, with my perfectly coiffed hair.
He fixed the part. Yes. He put his thumb up in the air.
Love you, Frank.
I love how the thumb thing, you have to bend it back.
He's got the weirdest thumb.
Yeah, he does.
Number 2 car salesman in the country.
He is number 1 Honda sales person.
Number 1 Honda car salesman in the country.
Impressive.
Number 2 overall.
I believe so.
And there's that guy in Chicago, and I only know this.
I'll fucking kill him. I don't give a fuck.
I would take it, but they're friends now. Like, they went and became friends. I wanted to fight them.
Yeah.
But
So
shout out Frank Cornell.
Yeah, how many guys are in the Delco Group?
So now there's 14 people, 14 board members. That's not including though, like the wives, husbands that are part of the board members.
Yeah, that make it happen.
Family, and just in general, like I consider anybody who like sponsors or really donates, like they're all part of that. You know? And that's what we wanted to do. Our thing was like my original thing with that was, hey, we donate so much money out that the only thing I hear about that money is the next year when they want another donation. Yeah. Which, look, I get that's how some of the charities just run. That's how they're set up. But we wanted to do something that was a little bit more transparent with no paid members. Like no one being involved is being paid to do what they're doing. So I called, at that time, it was 8 other guys that were all from different walks of life in some capacity.
Business owners, usually?
Some business owners. Some guys that, we had 3 guys that used to run beer pong tournaments for us to raise money for people. So, the Soapers and Anthony.
Yeah, that's uniquely Delco, too.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get shit-faced to help these kids that don't have nice clothes.
We gave somebody $25,000 in an envelope at a beer pong tournament once. So, that was before the Delco Group. And that's when I said, we probably should do this a little more immediately, because I feel like handing somebody $25,000 cash isn't the most legit thing in the world.
Hopefully they didn't go to Harris or anything. But
it was a typical Delco.
Yeah, exactly.
But, we got those guys involved. Every single person that I called, there was 11 people on my list. All 11 people they didn't let me finish my sentence. Like I said, look, it's going to be a lot of work. You're not making any money. I'm going to ask a ton out of you. And every one of them was a hard yes immediately before I could even finish the sentence.
Yeah.
And most of those guys didn't know each other. That's the funny thing is that they're all really good friends now. Most of them had no idea who each other were. And then we added 3 people so we had our first 2 women, and then we added 1 other guy, another.
Because you guys aren't sexist.
We are not.
Yeah,
no.
okay.
So
Delco Group is not sexist.
They're not sexist.
You heard that right
yes,
here.
Yes, it's on video.
And somebody just told me the other day that our website says meet the guys, so I have to change that because there are women on the website.
Let's be inclusive. Yes. Let me suggest we be inclusive, John. Thank you.
What do you
commit to that on this show? You guys be inclusive.
Delco Group 100% committed.
Here we go. Here we go.
So what do you plan every year? Is there a goal? Like, what do you, as far as fundraising? I know that you guys do the thing around Christmas, which you help out a family in need, which is so fucking cool. So you guys really.
Yeah, so Christmas time this year, I think we did 25 families.
Wow. Wow. That's impressive.
Throughout the year, look, it varies year by year. And I'll be honest, when I started it, I didn't think it would be anything like this. Like we thought, hey, Frank, Mike, myself, we'll donate some money. We'll reach out to some of our business contacts, get them to donate a little bit of money.
Might fizzle out.
We just thought we could run something small, do a few things for people a year, and we know it's going somewhere legit. There's an account. It's all set up that way. our first our first event was a golf outing to raise money. And
Which the videos from are great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It is the best.
Some of the
golf
best
outing.
videos I see all year. Yeah.
So we've had somebody told us last year the only golf outing they've ever been to that was similar was it like on the same level as the Barstool Open. So
It reminds me a lot of that.
it's
yeah.
a blowout
It's like,
golf outing.
yeah.
It's really
You guys are kind of like the Delco Barstool.
We should have
You
figured
should
that out.
Yeah. That's what it
That's
kind
what
of
we come
reminds
in,
me of.
John.
We
Yeah.
could have sold for like what do these just sell for 200 million? Something
Yeah,
like that.
exactly. It does come off like that. Some of the videos.
Is that what
yeah.
it was?
Wow.
1.2 million was way off.
Wow. Yeah.
I'll take it
So
now.
when that first event, it filled up. We didn't know what we were doing with the charity yet. We just said we started a charity.
Yeah.
And we were sold out within.
See, me and my Commondale friends, we would have spent all that money like right away. Yeah. You guys at least have a little like honor.
Maybe
you
we
know.
can take a fraction of this charity and help me keep my phone on. Just a thought.
Yeah, three of us would be dead.
The meetings get interesting. It's still all Delco people talking about what we should do with the money. But look, we started then. The money came in, and we sat. So one of the guys in the group, Artie Earl.
Artie, great guy.
Shout out to Artie Earl.
Yeah.
He's a Delco legend.
Great dude,
right? Like
yeah.
I don't think anybody ever talks about Artie and doesn't say
Great
guy.
story. A survivor.
Yeah.
Or a survivor himself.
Great.
Survivor
Now
of
putting
like
his time
30
in.
things. Like the guy's been
Yo,
through hell.
Artie Earl. Shout out, bro.
So when Artie, every year at Delco Prom, which is the Selling Delco event, every year we raise a little bit of money, nothing crazy, a couple grand, $4 or $5 grand, and we give it to somebody, right? So Artie was going through a lot. At that point, he didn't think he was going to make it. And we did something for him on the side. We knew if we told him he would never take it. And we gave it to him and said, look, he goes, dude, I'm good. Don't give me anything. I don't want anything. We said, just take this and go do an experience with it. Like he goes, well, I'm going to Key West with my daughter. We said, well, blow every penny of this
Yeah.
with your daughter in Key West. Like do something special with her. Blow every
That you would
dollar.
never do.
No one.
Yeah.
This is our money. Like just
Yeah.
do what you want with it. And he went and did that. And he's part of the charity. He's part of the group. And when we were talking about what to do, Artie said, look, man, when you're in that situation, when you're fighting like for your life or something that like is that catastrophic, and it's not always that it's severe when we're doing something for somebody, but when you're in that faced with that kind of hardship, he said, you're so worried about everything else. Like you're worried about is the bills paid?
Yeah.
Or it's
What am I leaving behind if something
Exactly.
happens? Yeah.
He said, when you guys gave me that, he said, it was so nice, like for me, because it was like, I don't feel guilty
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
doing this, right? Just having this experience.
Yeah.
And at that point, we basically dove into becoming an experience-based charity. And we do other stuff. We're we do everything.
Yeah.
But we focus heavily on the experiences. So I would say, to answer your original question, we're close to 100 families a year that we're doing something for
Right.
on an experience-based level.
I noted what
Sending the
you mean
trips,
by
doing all
experience. Yeah, sending the trips, Disney World, things like that. I've saw like around Christmas time, you guys will bring a bus and show up at the house and kind of like present the family with.
Oh, yeah, like we're like the
Do you
Delco
own that
Ed
bus? Because the
McMahon.
bus it says Delco Group on the side. Like, how do you do
It's
that?
parked at that gas station on
So
Saxon
Vinny
Ave,
Icone,
He's a
right?
member.
Vinny Icone's a board member. And again, right, so these guys don't know each other.
What's his name?
Vinny Icone.
Shout out Vinny Iacone.
Great guy. But, right there. You see the bus there.
Yeah.
I'll take another one. I'll take one of those mixy things. Yeah.
Yeah. Yo, these top dog cocktails are delicious. I really enjoyed mine. It's time for me to move on. Can I get a yellow boy mic? Clean this up and out. Yep. Man. What a guy. You guys have done a lot of cool things. That was sexy, Mike. Jeez, that made me tingly. It's been a while since I was touched like
Yeah,
that.
man.
You guys have done VIP experiences to Michael Barkley performances.
I would have to. I did want to like over the years we've had done about 15 shows together and like, dude,
I have to be
every
your-
time, man.
But
it's
I
fucking
have to be, between the two of you, I had to call you both more than anybody else has for private parties, right?
Absolutely. Since you started those things, I absolutely have gotten, and only the 15 or 20, but then the people at the parties that is somebody's
loves you guys.
relative, you get another gig through that. I mean, I might book all my private parties every year through somebody from
There's
Delco
no
Group.
bigger fan than the two of you guys. Like I just
Dude,
listen.
Mike and I have this.
I also I can't play an instrument, so like, I would love to learn how to do that. But
You
I
had a
can't.
great line once about your son with the beautiful hair.
Yeah, Lance,
He said it was his first birthday, and you wrote like a post or something like there's no other 1-year-old in the world that's at his first birthday party is at a party in at a Barkley concert and drinking a beer. You put a beer there. Yeah, it was awesome. So it was really cool, man.
Mike and I have this ongoing joke that like gigs he gets, Oh, I turned them down first. I was offered that first and vice versa. But let me say this now.
Not really
I'm
vice
not at all
versa at all.
insinuating that the gigs that you've given him, I've turned down. But you've reached out to me a few times over the years, and I promise you, there are real conflict schedules.
I don't know if they are.
At this point, no. Let me bring this up now because it's quite reasonable for you to develop a complex at this point.
I have a complex.
Dude, it's quite reasonable that I'm dodging you or these gigs on purpose. I assure you I'm not.
I feel like the last gig you played for me was my wife's 30th birthday party, and we had a full dance
Didn't she
party.
just retire?
She's done now. I'm married 20 years older. So,
Yes, yeah.
And, I mean, we haven't, I haven't seen you since. I tried getting you out. And it's it's really hard. He's a hard guy to get.
I appreciate when you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just.
But you're
just
always
moving
throwing it.
pieces.
You're always throwing it back, man. You're hiring, DJs, bands, and stuff. In a couple weeks, you got the what year is this Delco Prom? 8?
So we're calling it 8.5.
8.5.
It would be 9 if you take the COVID year.
Yeah.
The COVID year, when you think about it, was kind of cool, though. We did that online, like the 7
That was-
hours.
I was
able to be a part of
7
that.
minutes,
Yeah, that was
7 hours.
one of that was great.
awesome.
That was a
I
great
think
event,
you got
dude.
didn't the cops?
The cops
show
came
up at your
yeah,
house.
Yes, they showed up. The Norwood police showed up at my house and shut it down.
And they
Yes.
knew where you were playing,
but they were
right?
watching it. They were
Yeah.
watching it from the police station at the Norwood police station because I lived there in Norwood at the time. And that's when they came and they shut it down because I was the last one to go that night.
Were you playing loudly at your house?
Yes, yeah, my apartment, yeah, in Norwood at the time. But they knew about it when they came. They're like, "Yeah, we know. We're watching it at the
Just
station,
a
but
bunch
you
of
gotta."
cops boogieing
Yeah.
themselves.
Bartley calls me and goes, dude, the cops just showed up. And they go, yo, what's all the noise about? And he goes, I was just playing this online event. They went, oh, you're playing online Delco Prom? We're good, man. We're good.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
watching at the station.
Yes, dude. Yeah, that's it. It's amazing. So 8.5 is this year.
Yeah, so this is it. Yeah.
And
So
what's
this-
the date?
March 10th.
March 10th.
So this episode will come out on Friday, March 3rd,
Yep.
which will be a week out. So if you guys are listening to this or watching this,
Yeah,
or
how's
whatever,
the invite? How does that go?
So
how do you
look,
guys do that?
the way it's a client appreciation event, right? What we look at there is if you've supported our business, if you've bought or sold from us, friends and family, or you
I've
plan
purchased
to
from
buy
you.
and sell. You have.
Yeah.
I've purchased
But
property.
if you're somebody who's going to support our business, we want you there, because this is, we tried thinking a couple years back, 10 years back now, or 9 years back, we said, hey, what can we do for people that are supporting our business that it's so hard to always get everybody that's supporting our business? And so let's throw a party for them, and we like throwing parties, and
Yeah.
it's
You guys-
it's a banger, man.
it's
It's a good party.
it's the best party anybody throws anywhere. I mean, what do you expect? I mean, you get at least 1,000 people, right?
We're close to it sometimes,
Yeah.
last year was a little bit lighter, but it's a bang.
And 3 a.m. Tokyo. What a band,
what's
dude. What a
the
band
lineup?
they are.
They
I saw
are
the
phenomenal.
promo for it. There's Mike's playing.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's bands. What's the full lineup? What's the idea? It's a pajama jam or something?
Yeah,
What's
so
that
we
all
went
about?
theme last year. We went. I'm not a big theme guy, but we went theme 90s
are
theme
fun.
last
What
year.
was it last year? The theme.
90s, and
90s.
people
Yeah.
bought in.
Yeah,
Like,
you
they
saw.
were
Yeah, I saw
committed.
some. What are the overalls with the one back?
Overalls,
Yeah,
I mean,
that was a
the
good look.
backwards jerseys, and I think one dude showed up dressed as
I saw Chris Cross.
who was it? Ice Cube. Somebody showed up
Ice
dressed as Ice Cube. Like they had the hat on, the Jerry Curl.
Today was a good day.
Easy E's fingering Blossom over in the corner.
yeah, exactly.
This party's getting out of hand.
We might have seen that.
6.
So
Blossom and 6.
We've had some
Them to hook
interesting.
up.
Yes.
I talked to somebody today, and I believe they were at that party last year, and she said that yeah. So I was at your Delco Prom last year, and she has bought a house through us. She goes, yeah, and I lost my husband at the event. And I couldn't
Did he
find
pass
him.
away?
That's what I
was gonna
said.
say, like, fuck.
Hey man, you signed a waiver. Like I'm out.
Yeah.
So she goes, no. She's like,
I didn't know how to
lost
handle
him.
that.
He was really drunk, and I don't know where he went, and I lost him for like an hour. So she's like, so I called your office, and I left a voicemail crying. Your office going, I'm at your event, and I lost my husband.
Be like, yeah.
Okay, this isn't how life
Do we got to
works.
do everything for you? We already hooked you up. Now, as far as like sales, like house, like, is there? What do you rather do as a realtor? Row homes in Briarcliff and Collingdale and Darby, or like, are you trying to make that big sale like going in Garnet Valley? Like, what is there? 2 different ways to approach that.
So we're probably one of the only ones in the area, and I'm not knocking anybody by any means, but we like doing all of it. And I genuinely mean that. Like, I love helping the person who wants to sell the Briarcliff or Collingdale house and
Westbrook
upgrade,
Park.
or
Yeah,
Westbrook
yeah.
Park, Fallcroft, and upgrade to something else in a neighborhood they think is going to be better for their family or whatever it may be. And then, look, obviously I live in Garnet Valley. Like Mike and I are both there. We're really involved in that community as well. Like selling those homes. they're fun. Like there's beautiful homes out there that you get to be involved with. So we do it all, and we treat those 80, 100, 150, $200,000 houses. They get treated the same way the $1 million houses do. And it's across the board. Like we try to just follow that. If you can be, in my opinion, if you can be active in every market, you're going to be in good shape no matter what kind of market it is.
And what's the market now?
It's interesting.
It's an interesting market. I hear it goes like, it's very fluid right now. It's not like before it would be totally buyers, totally sellers. Now it's like it goes week to week almost.
I wouldn't say that. Like I think right now where you're at is you got rates they doubled, which has never happened, right? So rates have gone up. You have prices are still going up. So, typically in markets over the years, rates go up, prices go down. Rates have gone up, prices are continuing to rise, and we're still seeing multiple offers. The shortest answer to this is the reason
Obama.
It's definitely political. It's got to be something political.
It has to be.
I'm like
people that have been hanging in.
I'm like apolitical.
Here we go.
When you work in my business, you got to be apolitical.
Oh yeah, totally.
I have zero political.
100%. Yeah.
But what happened is you have all these people that locked in at 3%, 2.5%, 2.25%, and thought they bought like their forever home, and now they're not as willing to move as they would have been a couple of years ago because they're going to sell that home, and if they want to upgrade, there's no, they're going to get a 6 or 7% interest rate. That's not a terrible interest rate over time, but when you have a 3% interest rate already, it's a struggle. So there's a lack of availability. So when something comes up, everybody's running. Right now we're in the winter time still. Like when we get towards the warmer weather, you'll start seeing more come up, but it is the Wild West right now. Like
is real estate seasonal like that? Like
no doubt. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like people don't want to move, and like summer's the push, spring, summer.
People are less outside this time of the year, so their house doesn't look the same way they would want it to be. So typically your move-up markets are more affected there. Because
there's like a science to it, isn't it? Like, And I noticed the way you guys stage houses. Like you make a house look like, are they that beautiful? Like, or like the pictures? Like
I can speak on this.
Yeah.
I can speak on this.
Yeah.
When we've bought and sold with John before, takes care of us. Like the photographer comes in, and then when you see the pictures of your own home posted online, and it's not like a bait and switch type job at all, but it's almost fish-eyed a little bit. The rooms look a little bit bigger, but it's not fake at all. Like it's a really great representation. The photographers you work with are so good at what they do. And it's just such a nice package.
How because I see like rooms kind of blow up and really pop. Yeah. Is that the art of the photographer? Or is there something you kind of
sales altogether?
Sales,
thing, man. Like, look, you got to get eyeballs on you now, and that's so the video stuff you were talking about, the t-shirts, everything's about getting attention.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get attention? We preach to our people like, hey, you got to look so good when you first go out. That's why we do a lot of videos with the houses. We do like our photographers. Top notch. Like we only use one photographer for our properties. No one else takes pictures of them. So we want everything to look perfect that one time it goes out, because you get to be the new kid on the block one time.
Once.
You got one chance to make that first impression on everybody. And you can kill it right now in the market if you do.
Yeah.
If you mess that up, you're in trouble.
Now, is that
I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm just realizing now, for the showing at our house, you guys gave me $50 to go get a hoagie. Or you're like, go get a hoagie for a couple hours. We don't
get the fuck out of here.
And now I'm just kind of realizing.
We kick people out. Like, listen, you should
go get a hoagie. He pants me on the way out.
It's got to be tough, like, because you're not like a me guy. Like I said, like, because now you have to be social media. You have to put the video. You have to and naturally, I know you like since high school. Like you're not there's certain people that are like, they'll post every time they do a good deed. You're not that naturally. So but you also don't want to do that, but you got to kind of like show off. You got to show your assets to people, and that's got to be like a internal battle. I know it is for me with music and stuff like that. Like if you get a compliment, like I won't post it, but maybe I should have, because maybe that would look good to somebody, but it's just, it's a catch-22. You don't want to look like you're, I think fishing for compliments. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So like I always look at it like you're at the bar. Social media is no different, right? Like, if there's a guy at the bar going, dude, I'm so awesome.
Yeah.
I'm the best. It's hard to like that person, right? But we're in a time now. So I learned this last year. Like, I pulled back a little bit after COVID. We still were doing our marketing and getting it out there. But outside of that, I wasn't doing a lot. I stopped. We've always, we did the settlement shot. That's been a thing. We coined that years ago.
Yes, with the shots.
A shot at settlement if you drink, right?
Another great.
We're inclusive.
Don't drink. We include everybody, right?
We're inclusive.
But
They're
you
inclusive.
had that, right? So we have people that just when they want to smoke weed at settlement, they want to do other stuff. Whatever you got to do. So, but no,
all
but
you
the
guys
shot's
like
been a thing.
click a pill like after like.
We're trying not to go there, but look, you got to adapt with the times. But when we in doing, I lost where we were going with the shot thing. Sorry.
Yeah, no, but when I noticed you guys do the shot thing, that's like an absolute.
That's also nice branding, and the same thing with Frank with the thumbs up. It's people want to be a part of that. I'll drop 40 grand on a vehicle just to do this with Frank.
I've never seen anybody else do that shot thing. I mean, I know that realtors will buy a gift and all that, but like
people do similar
things. But
so what happened was, we pulled back on that. We were
for any other reason than like you didn't want to overcome.
I feel like people were starting to get a little chippy with us, and we were getting we're trying to be aware. Like maybe we're being too much.
Yeah.
Well, I took a little bit back and then said, all right, well, I'm diving back in now. I got to get back in. I put a video. I forget what video it was, but it killed. It got like 160 shares. Like when you put a video on 160 people share it,
that's big.
That thing should take off. And by metrics, typically that would get us 50, 60, 70,000 views. And I got like 6. And we had 6,000 views on 160 shares. And I'm trying to figure out what it is. I'm Googling, like, what is going on?
Right.
And I thought, like, somebody said, oh, they changed the view count. I'm like, dude, it's not adding up, And I found eventually somewhere, like, dude, you stopped posting. And
so you got to be
Delco is so
constant.
incestuous.
You have to keep posting.
So as long as you keep like going and like you got to stay like, or else you kind of fall off people's.
They're not watching you. So
stay on people's feeds
for this year. That like that's part of my business plan in 2023 is that I have to post more. So figuring out a way to do that without going like, look how great I am.
Which you've been great at so far. Like you haven't you're not posting every going to like a health shelter and giving every meal and stuff like that. Like you've kept it funny. The key is, man, keep it funny, keep it informative, and keep it fresh.
Yeah, that's where we got like 4 pillars of it that we're just going to kind of break down and keep it right in those lanes, and then keep mixing in the fun stuff.
Absolutely, man.
Oh yeah, well, dude, this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, and fuck Kurt Warner.
Do you want to go over just a recap for anyone listening or watching about your party coming up a week from the day this is going to be released? If you want to throw it back out there again, we got
Delco Prom March 10th. That's for anybody who's ever supported our business, plans to support our business, bought a property from us, sold a property with us, or our tighter family and friends. And if they want to invite, all they got to do is hit me up and I'll send it right over.
All right, great. How can you be reached?
At Selling Delco on Instagram, or just John Port on
just
Facebook.
Open the window, fuck Father Carmine. John Port.
Our very own Money Mike is playing that
yeah,
night.
Man.
Yeah,
Mike
Tokyo. Is that the name of the band?
3 a.m. Tokyo. What's that? That's a 7 to 8 shift. I'll be on, but the party is awesome, man.
And what's the time and where is it?
So it's 7 to 11 at the Ridley House.
All right.
But in the ballrooms in the back. So we have all 3 ballrooms, the Heritage Ballroom.
Still called Heritage Ballrooms?
I think it is. I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'll let you know when I write the check.
Well, if you know, you know. Yo, we appreciate you guys for listening to a great episode with our homie John Port. Thanks for the support. Check them out at sellingdelco.com, I believe.
Yes.
And we'll see you at the Delco Prom, y'all.